The following is a practice of narrative analysis and interpretation. As such, this video should not be taken as absolute truth, nor does it claim to be. This analysis is limited by the accuracy of the translations found and my limited capacity in this practice. Your understanding is greatly appreciated.
I'm the boy because I'm
DD sugA from BTS, Agust D. A man of many names, Yoongi is known for his musical prowess. From rapping on stage to playing the piano to producing and writing songs, Yoongi has done it all. Hello and welcome to W34VER Wednesdays. I am Tristan and today we will be discussing the Agust D mixtape. Released in late 2016, Agust D features 10 tracks written and produced by Yoongi himself. Since then, it has been noted for showcasing Yoongi's musical prowess and his capacity to touch on the subject of mental illness, the discussion of which is often taboo in society. Even more noteworthy is Yoongi's openness in discussing the difficulties he faced on his way to success. However, many often miss out, albeit partially, on the aim of this mixtape. In track 4, Skit, Yoongi reveals that he aimed to release this mixtape not as sugA of BTS, but as Yoongi, revealing another aspect of himself, whom we now know as Agust D. I believe this recording has a purpose in understanding Agust D. In fact, I would argue that everything, from the entirety of the tracks to the way it was arranged, has some importance in understanding the Agust D self-narrative. You see, at its core, every song, rap, or hymn can be considered a form of poetry. This begs the question, what makes a poem a poem? One might argue that it's something between the rhyme or the measure. That's a fair assumption, but prose poetry certainly exists, and those are considered poems nonetheless. And certain prose pieces are described as poetic, despite being prose literature. Rather, a poem is a poem because every single detail in the piece, from the wording to the arrangement to the punctuation, has some relevance in understanding the piece. Furthermore, poems, much like songs, have ceased to be consumed and sold on its own or in singles. Today, they are often sold in anthologies, collections often with a common theme and larger overarching narratives. And I believe that is the case for the Agust D mixtape as a whole. Now, it is certainly possible to appreciate the Agust D narrative by simply looking at each track in a vacuum and come to generally the same conclusion as many have before. However, it is only in looking at it as an entire collection can we see themes which are shared or developed across tracks, and therefore can be considered especially important to the writer. If you look carefully at the arrangement of the mixtape, you can somewhat decipher a logical sequence of the tracks. The first part, in my opinion, concerns the first 3 tracks, which acts as a 3-part introduction. Next comes the skit, which in some way references and acts as an introduction, talking about Yoongi's intentions for the tape, and acting as a segue to the next section, talking about Agust D's history. The second part, I believe, spans from tracks 5 to 8, which tackles significant experiences in Agust D's life, later concluding in track 8, Tony Montana. This is followed by interlude, which cuts off from the prior sections and prepares the listener for track 10. The first 3 tracks function as an introduction to the Agust D self-narrative, introducing who the rapper is and giving a quick overview of the kind of person we will be encountering throughout the tape. The mixtape starts out strong with an intro track that functions as both a preview of what to expect in the tape and the mixtape equivalent of a hype man asking, "Are you ready?" right before spelling Agust D. This is soon followed by the title track, bearing the same name as the mixtape. Track 2, Agust D, is the formal introduction of the rapper. There are 7 instances in which Agust D spells out his own name, and likewise, the track spells out just who he is and what he stands for. A big theme that can be observed in this track is how he differentiates himself from the DeYoungs that ignore their duties, who have no chance of becoming successful, a theme that will be seen in other tracks in this mixtape. Immediately, he blatantly rejects these people, whom he characterizes as hopeless and jealous, the copiers of copies, and are scared that he will take away their jobs. He says that they're beneath him, and that they're lucky he's an idol, because he's too busy to deal with them. Many times during the track, Agust D lists down some of BTS's achievements, and his skillfulness in rap and music in general. He further proves this point by launching one of his arguably most impressive displays to date.
난 back이는 걸 back이는 놈을 잡아다가 후배를 선배를 jack이는 놈 팽이는 내가 back이는 그를 back이는 역사를 바닥에 새기는 몸도 재미도 없는 래퍼들 사이에서는 남들보다 더 챙기는 몸 잘 나가는 벽을 바뀌는 벽에 형들의 시기 절수적인 생기는 소.
This confidence, however, has a certain humility to it. In the same track, he goes to the lengths of saying one of his old diss tracks, Sai Han Noir from 2015, was embarrassing. The line, "Only the strong ones can mess with me," also has a certain humble confidence to it, succinctly suggesting that he is both of a high standard, but that he is not the only one with that level of expertise. That he is not the only one out there who is different from the DeYoungs, juniors, or seniors, whom he characterized as hopeless. Track 3, Give It To Me, has Agust D finishing just what he started. He cites how he and those around him was uncertain about his success, a point that will be developed in the second part of the tape. Here, Agust D further describes the DeYoungs as those who benefited by slandering them, which probably refers to BTS. They are hypocrites because of this, given that they say one thing, possibly slander rap line for being idols, then run to larger companies for their careers. He further critiques their law of the jungle mentality in the industry, wherein they destroy each other in the process, acts which Agust D sees as simply digging each other's graves. Again, we see a sense of confidence in Agust D as he describes himself as a tiger, someone who won't beg for things like a dog in order to survive, likely another jab at the DeYoungs he mentioned earlier. He further points out that he doesn't want what these DeYoungs value to the point of slandering each other. In fact, he's even disgusted by them and tells them not to even touch him. Perhaps one of the gems that I love about this specific track is how Agust D admits that his success is still a mystery to him, but turns it around by saying he knows the secret to failure, which is playing the fool and carelessly blabbering like the DeYoungs that he criticizes so much in these tracks. To me, it's an amazing example of how you can simultaneously be realistically humble, confident, and at the same time savage. Give It To Me overall has a very confident tone to it and can be interpreted in much the same way people say, "I can handle whatever you throw at me, so bring it." As of these first 3 tracks, we see Agust D as an individual who portrays himself as a skilled rapper with a realistic sense of confidence and self-respect. He recognizes that no one could have predicted his success, and that he has grown in his musical skill over the years. He differentiates himself from the DeYoungs, whom he finds revolting, and refuses to be in any way related to or become these people. Hello and thank you for watching my video. If you have any comments or suggestions regarding how I could probably improve the quality of these videos, those would be very helpful. I will probably have part 2 ready by tomorrow morning at around this time. That's probably at around 7 AM KST. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. See ya.